What? What's up, YouTube? Smells like Vin, and I'm not alone in this review, because I'm gonna do one with my twin brother. Like I said in a bunch of my reviews, Nick introduced me to a ton of music, whether it be kind of more extreme forms of metal, whether it be dream pop, things that I really enjoy and love. A lot of it comes from him, and today, we're going to talk about Bolt Thrower's second full-length LP, Realms of Chaos. And Bolt Thrower is a death metal band from England, and they were one of the big death metal bands during like the old school kind of classic era of things. And they did everything. They did a lot of kind of doomy, slower metal. They did blast beats kind of along the lines of grindcore. A lot of people consider them a grindcore band. Me and Nick personally don't consider them a full-length grindcore band, you know, like a straight grindcore band, but they definitely did influence the genre along with, you know, Napalm Death and Carcass and stuff. So I guess we'll just start with production, and Nick, you can start with that.
Well, Bolt Thrower has always had a really thick, hazy guitar sound. The guitars are raunchy, very, very deep, very, very
like low end, a lot of low
very
end,
low
yeah.
end. And I guess the thing to note about Bolt Thrower is that what Vince said was definitely correct. There is actually a large grind influence on their first album and their second one. And the thing about them was that they were early British death metal. And at that point, so early on, 88, 89, death metal borrowed heavily from grindcore. They played off each other quite a bit.
Some people even consider them to be the same
exactly,
thing. Yeah.
And they built off each other, so that's why you see such a prevalent grind influence.
Mm-hmm.
But the production is great. Some people say it's shitty, and I disagree. I think it's not
The best.
yeah, the instruments, the bass, the drums, the vocals aren't crystal clear, but they're not supposed to be. I think the grime production adds to the flow and the overall just ebb and flow of the way the song is constructed.
And now that he mentioned flow, I feel like because Bolt Thrower were, I think, sort of different from the whole, you know, kill you and your family kind of death metal lyrics. You know, they weren't as gory, they're still pretty violent, but they have a focus more on war and you know, battles and things like that. So I feel like the production brings out the kind of epic nature of the songs, as well as the double bass passages. A lot of people say they sound like bullets and gunshots and stuff.
I agree.
It's a very, and I think when me and Nick listened to it at the same time together, and we both agreed it's a very like atmospheric.
Very much so. It's very ferocious. And I think what's so great about it and what makes it feel like a battle is not only the lyrics are interesting, because
More intelligent, I'd say.
it doesn't focus more on the gore of war as much as it does the ideals of war. It focuses on the mental
what
aspect
someone's thinking
of being in a war rather than just
shooting and killing.
the violence, which is there too. But
no.
I think okay.
I was gonna just talk about the flow, because it has such big war themes. There has to be kind of you know, like a climax and a decline and things
That's
like
what I
that,
was gonna say,
which bring that out. For example, what's the Wild Eater? By the way, a lot of the lyrics are about the tabletop game Warhammer, which I should have mentioned, which is pretty nerdy but pretty awesome.
And the album cover too features
album cover.
What is it? Games Workshop.
Yeah, Games Workshop. They do the work.
So they do some great album art.
So yeah, it's important to know. Like the song Wild Eater, it starts off really doomy, like about 2 minutes or like 3 minutes of instrumental, and then this is the thing. Take an album like Scum by Napalm Death. Basically the whole second side is blast beats. So it's kind of like the power, I think, starts to kind of, you know, the album loses its power because you're used to the blast beats. In this album, like in Wild Eater, the blast beats just go burn, and right when you're not expecting it, they just punch you in the face, and it makes the experience more like, oh shit, it's like a real like punch in the face.
It's more savory because you have they know how to chug it out. Like they know how to just the guitars are drop tuned and it's
Beyond belief.
it's so chugging, and it's just goes and goes and goes and just pounds through the same repetitive riff. They know how to riff. Their riff is just fantastic. But then, after you're just starting to get bored of the repetition, just before you start to want some change, everything breaks, and a blast just washes over the entire song.
It creates a mental, and I think I was talking to Nick about this the other day.
It's like a tug and pull, if you will.
Exactly, that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Flow to the tracks.
Makes it almost a climactic.
Exactly. Right when you're getting bored, a blast comes, and then when the blast starts to get boring, they start chugging out again, and it just works.
I always say that if an album can put a mental image in your head, it's doing a good job. You look at the album cover, you hear the music, and you just get this feeling of war, and it's something that's instantly gratifying. The second you listen to it, you'll feel that way, and it's something that doesn't really have to grow on you. That feeling kind of exerts its will on you the second you listen to it, and it's great. The vocals.
Okay,
do you want to talk about the vocals? Yeah, sure.
Now the vocals are pretty ridiculous on this record. They're low, but they're not like
Cannibal Corpse behind the mix.
They're not. They're almost cacophonous. They have a lot of
rasp, I guess.
They're deep, but they're open. They sort of sound hollow. It's not a gravelly sort of growl. It's more of a throaty, open sort of, and he has like yelps at the end of a lot of his,
almost not like a screech, but like a
not a screech, but
like and it like
and
kind
he goes
of
down. And he's sort of like. It's very emotive, and it's really cool.
It helps, like Nick said, and the point we keep bringing up, it flows and it goes up and down in his vocals. I think if they just had an everyday death metal vocalist, they wouldn't portray those feelings with the music, and everything just kind of flows. I really enjoy the vocals. I think they're kind of hazy, like the intro growl to Internal War, which, by the way, there's an intro and an outro. So that kind of helps the flow of the album. And Eternal War is after the intro. And right when the double bass part breaks and the intro starts, the singer just lets out this yell. And it's extremely powerful, and it hooks you when you first listen to it. At least that's what it did to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it
did.
It grabs your attention and makes you care about everything that's going on. And there's a lot of variation too. I think that's the thing that I don't want to say, because the album is so associated with not only death metal, but grindcore, both those genres, if you don't add, at least this is my opinion, if you don't add enough variety, they'll get a bit boring. Like if you're listening to a grindcore album, and every song is just blast beat, high-pitched vocals, yells, it gets kind of, kind of do something new.
And I think that's why grindcore fans
like this band so much.
Maybe fans of grindcore that find grindcore to get repetitive might like this, because it's a perfect mixture. And I think another really important aspect to this album is the drums. The drums are, whenever I hear them pounding away, I think drums of war. They're very...
Nice. Nice. That was well played. Nice.
They're very...
primal.
And they have this pound to them that I think a lot of death metal albums lack. I think some death metal albums go for more of a tighter sound. The drummer's last name is Whale. So Whale's drumming. What a name! That's a huge name.
Yeah.
Whale. They're very at large. They're very hollow, and the thing is, they're off time. A lot of times, they're all the growls are trying to line up with the drums. But the thing is, that sets them back. But that gives a really it's like a blur of drums. Like the blasts are struggling. The blasts are just struggling.
I like the way the kit sounds. Like I don't like death metal albums where, and I'm not making fun of death here, but on albums like Leprosy, if you've heard that album, which if you're a death metal fan you have, the snare sounds like it's off. It's such an open snare, which helps that band. It definitely helps them kind of have that dissonance, because they use a lot of reverb death. But because this band doesn't, the production's so dry and so tight, the snare has like a pop, like it has a real pop to it,
Yeah.
and it
And the
sounds
sim-
like bullets. Like it's the cymbals are very crisp.
The
and
cymbals
clean,
are extremely crisp. Everything's sort of bright.
Mhm.
The bass.
I think that's my only complaint. I think
Okay, yeah, I mean, you can hear the bass, no doubt. You can hear it.
Yeah.
But I think
because the
it's
album
not
is such
as
a
audible.
barrage of sound, I feel like the production again it's good. I don't know. I felt the bass was a little understated for me anyway. I didn't hear it as much. Maybe
it's
You
not
know.
as audible. The guitars.
it's not a problem. I think actually, sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
you. I think the thing is that the bass is tuned down so low
Yeah.
that it's fitting. Because that's what I've heard. I've read a couple of views on the internet. And I hear that they were all on the same sort of tuning,
Mhm.
and since it's tuned down to such a low tone that it just meshes with the guitar. And who knows?
I think
I think maybe you're supposed to feel the bass more than you're supposed to hear it.
I think the well exactly.
Mhm.
Despite the fact that you might not be able to hear a single
Boom,
bass
boom, boom,
notes
notes, yeah.
being played,
It just makes the guitar sound full
there
and
is
thicker.
more
Yeah,
bottom than you
exactly.
can hear. The guitar work is great because their main goal is to just riff.
And pump
Their
it, yeah.
riffs are extremely
They're interesting too. They're not your
extremely-
standard death metal riffs. I feel like the riff to Internal War. That's a really weird kind of discombobulating riff. It sounds almost kind of creepy and eerie, but I think like Nick was about to say that the riffs help the album progress, and you never feel like okay, you know I've
Yeah.
heard this riff before.
And the lead work on here is good too
Mhm.
because it doesn't take over. There's actually not a lot of lead guitar on here at all. Here and there you'll hear it, and it comes out in a very sort of, it almost acts as a set piece to the song. They're not constantly breaking the riffs
Yeah.
to just wank their guitar
Yeah,
off in some
uh-huh.
weird, crazy.
the way
they
the
keep
solos
it-
on, the
yeah.
context of the music. Again,
They're very warm too. They're not sharp.
no, yeah.
They don't wail out. They
I
just
feel
sort of
like-
work themselves
I
in
feel
with the
like
riffs.
the tone is more of
Very
like
masterfully done.
maybe more of like a fuzz tone. I would say maybe
Uh,
not fuzz, but more of a
You can
warm,
see that.
low, rumbly tone
You can
rather
say
than like
that.
wham, like a really
Because
screechy
it doesn't
kinda-
have this melodic power metalish
yeah.
screech to them, which is just an off turn to me. That just turns me off.
I
when I'm
think
listening
it's-
to death
if I'm
metal.
listening
Unless
to,
I'm
like-
listening to melodic death
If I'm
metal.
listening to like Maiden or something like
something
that,
like that, but with something as grimy as this,
it needs to be
they're
low
very
and
sort of,
rumbly. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
I mean, you just have to listen to it for yourself.
Yeah.
The leads are really, really
Again,
nicely done,
The
tastefully
album
done.
there could not have been a more apt sound and feel for the war theme that's
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
album.
Yep.
I think it's I say think a lot. I think it's the album's best merit, its best compliment.
And
It's so war-like. When you hear it, look at the album cover, you get into the feeling of the music.
and it's refreshing because
Death
a
metal,
lot
you
of
know, they
death
won't
metal
like that, yeah.
is just mindless gore.
Which is fun
These
too, you know,
lyrics
yeah.
really go into the mind of someone who's
In
at the
war,
front lines, and
yeah.
it's really interesting because
Mhm.
it's a cerebral
Kind
type
of,
of
yeah.
lyric. It's not all about
The thinking
just
man's
the
metal, yeah.
just the sort
Grime
of
and the yeah.
instant repulsion that you might get from like
Cannibal
some
Corpse
gory
or
lyrics, or
something
you know,
along
if you
those
listen to
lines.
something from like
Autopsy.
some gore grind bands,
Mhm,
or
yeah.
something along those
Mhm.
lines. I think it's very cerebral and it makes you think about what it, you know,
means to
needs to
actually
be a
be in war,
soldier,
yeah.
and that's
The music portrays
great.
that
That's
perfectly,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yes,
it.
that's it, yeah, wraps it up.
All right. Good job.
Me
So
too.
yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. You know, me and Nick just wanted to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he has his own personal review, or reviews rather. I'll link his channel in the D box. Sorry for this review going a little long. Wow, we almost at 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Whatever, it's no big deal.
damn.
It's cool. I hope you enjoyed it.
Wow.
And if you did, if you'd like us to do it again, please let us know. If you have any other death metal albums, grindcore, you know, albums you'd like us to talk about.
We've been on a serious
Death
death
metal,
metal
yeah,
binge, so we'll definitely be up for talking
Yeah.
more about that.
Definitely. So if you enjoy it, let us know. We'll be happy to do it again. We're actually thinking of starting another channel completely.
Yeah.
With just me and him, which I would enjoy very much.
So please, if you dig this whole double review thing, if you like the two of us doing it, please let us know. If you don't, let us know, because
Yeah.
we just want to know how, you know, it went.
15 seconds, I won't be able to upload it. See you guys later. Subscribe, comment, share. We both thank you.
Thanks.